the tail of the tape.
Look, the big thing on this, Darrion Caldwell has got the wrestling to keep this thing where he wants it to be, and it's with a 73 to 70-inch reach advantage. He wants to keep it standing and do damage.
With the official introductions, here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Kia Forum here in Inglewood, California, as we get set to kick off 2023 here at Bellator with event number 290. The prelims will get underway now. Inside the cage, we go 3 5-minute rounds in the Bantamweight division. Introducing the blue corner first. At 5'8", weighing in 135.4 pounds, his professional record 9 wins, 2 losses, presenting Nikita Mikhailov. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 135.8 pounds as a professional. 15 victories, 6 defeats. Introducing the former Bellator Bantamweight World Champion, Darrion "The Wolf" Caldwell. In charge of the action, your referee, Rafael Davis.
Fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Here we go. Fight! First round.
Both fighters looking to bounce back from losses at the hands of Enrique Barzola. We have Mikhailov representing Fedor team, and in Caldwell, he began his MMA training years ago in Arizona with the likes of current heavyweight champion Ryan Bader.
He did, and he's coming off an NC2A Division I championship at North Carolina State. He is an incredible athlete, but it's maintaining fight. Beautiful knee by Caldwell.
Caught by Mikhailov.
Hey, you take charge here?
But he's so good at using his wrestling, but he needs to be able to control his up and down as far as how much energy he puts out. It's the fact that he gets tired at times that leads him down a bad path. He needs to be the guy in control of this fight.
Caldwell now fighting out of Killcliff FC under the tutelage of Henry Hooft, Greg Jones, and Jason Strout. Mikhailov looking to begin the evening on a successful note for Fedor team, well represented on this historic card, as both Fedor Emelianenko and Anatoly Tokov will be vying for Bellator MMA championships on the main card. Looking for that lateral drop, and now has the back, does Caldwell.
That was a beautiful foot sweep by Mikhailov, but it was just too much, and he let it go all the way through. He was the one that initiated that beautiful job by Caldwell to take the back.
And Caldwell works well from his back, has 3 rear naked choke victories, looking for his 4th.
You got to figure right now, Mikhailov is dry. He doesn't have a whole lot of sweat. This is a great opportunity for Darrion Caldwell to get himself a win and out of this fight fast.
And Mikhailov, who has tasted defeat twice, has been submitted once. The first was a triangle choke back in 2017. So Darrion Caldwell with the back control, looking for that RNC to begin our festivities here tonight. 2 minutes gone in the first round. Well defended, though, thus far by Mikhailov.
Now, Mikhailov is sitting there. He understands that with where his hand's at, Caldwell's holding on to it, so he's just controlling off of the one. Nice job of getting himself back to guard. But this is where Darrion Caldwell wants to be. If he's on the ground, he wants to be in guard or in half guard. That way he controls the position and he can dictate the pace of the fight.
Midway point of the opening round, and strong start for Darrion Caldwell, who desperately needs to turn his fortunes around in the Bellator MMA cage, looking for his first win since January of 2020. And this is where Caldwell needs to be more aggressive, needs to try to create that distance, posture up, and rain down the ground and pound.
If he can get himself to just get a little bit of separation off of the top of Mikhailov. But yeah, as you see, Mikhailov keeps on taking and creating an angle change, which is making Darrion stop that offense and try to hold position. That also makes him work. And we saw AJ McKee catch Darrion Caldwell when he went and took AJ down. Darrion got caught in what we call the McKeotine now. Okay, he got submitted off of that, so he needs to be careful because Mikhailov, he's got a very good submission game.
Yeah, Mikhailov controlling Caldwell here now in the back and trying to just maybe get a stand-up. Has wrist control. Just over a minute left, and again, Darrion Caldwell in top position, but unable to really capitalize or maximize. And it's, again, very active on his back is Mikhailov.
Which is very important in this fight for him because it creates no space as far as Darrion is trying to crush that space, which takes energy to do. And he wants Darrion to get tired.
Caldwell with a hammer fist. Some body shots. Mikhailov looking to reverse, looking somehow to get it back to this fight to its feet with 30 seconds now left in the opening round.
All of these little movements by Mikhailov to just create that angle change, it's a smart tactic. If you end up underneath Darrion Caldwell, make him work the entire time.
And like Fedor Emelianenko, his mentor, looking for the armbar from his back.
Really, it was the cage that stopped him in that.
Keep your hands out of his eyes.
Caldwell using his decorated wrestling background to control the opening round against Nikita Mikhailov. And Caldwell launches a left kick, and Mikhailov coming forward, lands the right, and Caldwell times it, gets the takedown.
Nice job.
And immediately takes the back again, John.
Beautiful work by Darrion Caldwell. He had the ability to come out, and he was going to end up in a half guard. He switched back, and he's got the ability to get this choke. It's close. Right now, it's getting tight. Mikhailov needs to really hold on to that, get a little bit of separation there. He's got that arm, which is keeping Caldwell from locking the choke up.
All 6 of Caldwell's wins have been via form of choke, including 3 via rear naked choke that he's looking to finish Mikhailov with here in the opening minute of the second.
See, and with where Caldwell had that one arm in place, but he could not get that locking arm free. It's a nice job of defense by Mikhailov.
Yeah, Mikhailov continues to do well with the hand grappling and trying to control the wrists of Caldwell. And Mikhailov is the one that's throwing punches and trying to break the grip of Caldwell. Caldwell trying to find a way to navigate the defense of Mikhailov in order to force that submission.
Darrion right now is trying to figure out that hand play as far as what's going on where Mikhailov is holding it. He needs to take and figure out, do I want to go towards a rear naked choke? Do I want to go towards on the palm? Nice attempt at getting himself out. And Mikhailov needs to do more of that. He really needs to make Caldwell work in this position.
There's Mihailov's corner, including current Bellator light heavyweight champion Vadim Nemkov. Of course, later tonight, his teammates, including their leader Fedor Emelianenko and Anatoly Tokov, all looking to add that championship hardware to the Fedor team coffers. Midway point of the second. And that is Vladimir Tokov on the left, Anatoly's brother.
Who will be in Anatoly's corner tonight.
Absolutely.
Caldwell needs to start thinking about posturing up. Right now, you're looking at Mikhailov using his legs to create distance, which is allowing him to land elbow strikes. Well, Caldwell's not landing a whole lot from the top position.
2 minutes remaining in round 2. Elbows from the bottom by Mikhailov. And of course, on your back, you don't have the leverage, but he's still showing that he's busy trying to continue to keep Caldwell from improving his position. And Caldwell, despite having control, John, has been unable to really make it count.
Very little offensive output by Caldwell during this round. He's more controlling where the fight's at, but he's not doing any type of damage with this grounding attack.
Despite top control, it's Mikhailov that's more than doubled Caldwell in terms of strike output.
And that's what happens when you get into that. I need to keep this guy on his back. I need to hold on to him. This is a good break by Rafael Davis. Rafi Davis, ex-pro fighter, black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He knows exactly what he's doing.
And that needs to be a wake-up call for Darrion Caldwell.
Yes,
with just over a minute left here in the second round, who, again, with that NCAA title on the wrestling mat. Oh, nice counter again with the left. And Caldwell has had success countering Mikhailov on a few occasions here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's on those counters that he's actually gotten his takedowns, because he gets that close.
Times it perfectly.
Times it well. Mikhailov needs to really struggle to work himself.
And now it's Mikhailov that's looking for a submission, trying to, again, get off his back. Smothering top control by Caldwell, but he needs to ratchet up the offense.
When you're looking at the judges, Morrow, what they're looking at is, yes, he's getting the takedown, but what are you doing with the takedown? You've got to do some type of either damage or positional advantage. Right now, there hasn't been a lot from Caldwell during this round.
Caldwell's corner saying, hey, you get him on the ground, you got to do damage. That's what we've been talking about. And John, in that second round, Caldwell had ground control for 8 minutes, 12 seconds, and yet Mikhailov able to land 16 of 19 elbow strikes. And again, not necessarily able to create leverage from your back, but they're landing and they're scoring.
Yeah, Jason Strout, who is in the corner of Darrion Caldwell, first thing he said as Darrion got over there is, hey, you taking the gun, you've got to do damage right there. And that's been a problem with Darrion throughout his career. He is so talented, and he can get the takedown against anyone. But once he gets it there, he tends to hold instead of doing things that the judges are going to say is him trying to finish the fight.
Caldwell delivering some left kicks, and of course, Caldwell has to be involved in that mental fight as well, having gone from being a Bellator 135-pound champion, now in the midst of a career-long 3-fight losing streak. But he says he's going to make a statement tonight. He says it's going to be a new and improved Darrion Caldwell. Well, over 4 minutes now left here in the third to make that statement. But for Nikita Mikhailov, he also, though, has to now put the pedal to the metal and try to score on offense and do damage of his own. How do you have it after 2 rounds?
No, I'm looking at it and I say, obviously, Caldwell won the first round. I'll give Mikhailov the second, so both guys need this round. So both guys need to come out and put on a performance showing that I want to win this fight.
Mikhailov swims in with a combination of punches. Caldwell from the southpaw stance. 1.5 minutes gone in the third. And again, Caldwell looking to land that left high kick.
So I love the fact that Caldwell's going after that high kick. I think it's a good thing for him to do because he's got the wrestling base. If someone grabs it, he can get himself back up. He's that good in that position, so use that as a weapon.
Mikhailov leads with the right.
And you can see how long Darrion is. Look at the length of this guy at this weight class. And he's just got all these athletic skills. He just needs to put them all together.
3-inch reach advantage for the former Bellator Bantamweight champ in this fight. Walking forward. And Mikhailov just out of range. Just past the midway point of the final round. And there's the level change and the takedown attempt by Mikhailov, and he is looking to take the back of Caldwell with just over 2 minutes left in the round.
He's not only looking to take it, he did take it, there's no doubt. But can he keep Darrion down? There goes Darrion getting back to his feet.
Knee strike to the thigh. And another knee strike by Mikhailov. And looking to put the hook in.
Darrion does not want to stay on his butt here. He needs to get himself back to his feet, start working the underhooks. He's a good enough wrestler. He knows what he needs to do. He just got to put it in his mind, I'm going to do it.
Caldwell was trying to create some separation momentarily. Now delivers a knee up the middle. Mikhailov trying to take him off his feet. Neither able to create that separation as they stay clinched, moving around, and there's the throw attempt by Mikhailov, and we have reached the final 60 seconds of this opening contest at Bellator 290. Bantamweights, Darrion Caldwell, Nikita Mikhailov, under a minute left.
Darrion's done a good job of frustrating Mikhailov as far as the stand-up. He just can't seem to get within the range. When they get into this clinch here, you're seeing Darrion trying to land the knees. Mikhailov always allowing him to push a little bit, give him some resistance. You saw him try almost a lateral on the last toss.
Half a minute now left, and there's the takedown by Mikhailov.
Not a whole lot of time.
This is where you need to empty whatever's left, and there should be a lot left based on the pace of this fight.
Absolutely, both guys need to really just go for it. Darrion needs to get himself back to his feet. Don't settle.
Well, both Caldwell and Mikhailov have to settle for going to the judges' scorecards. As we look at it, again, our stats for Caldwell, 53 of 79. Mikhailov, 61 of 104 in terms of strikes. And let's make it official now. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, we'll go now to your three judges. Your first judge, Jonathan Migliano, 29-28. Chris Lieben, also 29-28. Felicia O, the same, 29-28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Nikita Mikhailov.